My name is Bill Himmelstein. I founded a company called Tenant Advisory Group 11 years ago that focuses on helping businesses with their commercial real estate needs. So whether it's buying or selling properties, expanding an existing lease, contracting an existing lease, relocating, we try to make sure that we find them the right space, negotiate the right transaction. Now, while I happen to be a very, we'll just say, competent broker, I've found that I can hire people to do that work, and as long as I'm supervising and paying attention, we'll make sure that our clients get best of class results. But what I focus on in my business is building relationships, and it's about building relationships with the right people, whether it's service providers that I think are great at what they do, or business owners that I think could become a potential client. My networking, the way that I define networking is, and we can always back up, but it's about meeting people that you believe can be helpful to you and then doing what you can to be helpful to them. So a very easy way of getting what you want is by helping somebody else get what they want. Most of what I do has nothing to do with real estate. You know, when I sit down and, might ask Josh Strauss, who are you trying to connect with? Who are your ideal clients? He's going to say high net worth individuals. Me connecting him with high net worth individuals has nothing to do with real estate. But I know that if I can help Josh build his business, there's a great chance he's going to do the same for mine. Now, helping someone build their business is not always revolving around bringing in a new client or getting hired by them, because maybe Josh, his best friend from childhood, is a broker. So there's no way Josh is ever going to work with me. But Josh might have a lot of clients that have space, and so he has people in his network that I want to meet. So number one, I start with, I talk about the 3 keys to finding a good networking partner. Number one is find someone that's working with similar clients with you. Or, of course, they could be a potential client. So if they could be a potential client or they work with potential clients, great. We have that in common. That's a wonderful place to start. Because if Josh says to me, a good client for me is anyone, oh boy, anyone is not a good client for me. It's a very specific subset. So one of the comments we talked about, someone said, is finding the right people. How do you know if you got the right people? And I think it starts with making sure that you're either working with similar clients or they could be a good potential client. Otherwise, there's really no need to continue. There's no need to network with that person because they may not have the right type of people that you're trying to meet, or they may not be a good potential client. So you can rule those people out right away. Number 2, very important, do you share similar values with that person? Meaning, would you be comfortable putting that person in front of your clients? Are they going to make you look good? Are they going to approach things with similar integrity, with similar values that you are? Because really, when you make an introduction, it's a reflection upon yourself. And so if I'm going around introducing jerks and lawbreakers to people, that's going to be the perception of me, is that I'm a jerk and I'm not a rule follower or whatever. But my point is that you want to make sure that you share somewhat similar values with that person, which you can easily deduct in a pretty quick conversation. What do you do for fun? If they say I go to strip clubs, okay, well, that's for you. That's not necessarily for me. I'm not interested in that. But if they say, I love to be with my family, or I love reading, I love watching sports, whatever. There's a myriad of things that you might be able to connect with over somebody, and making sure you share similar values is important, because also you want to be introduced to good people. So if that person is of high moral character, there's a good chance that that's who they surround themselves with. So when they make an introduction to you, it's usually going to be a pretty good person. And the last key is tough to figure out because you have to wait until that person makes an introduction. But the last part is does that person act as a trusted advisor to their clients? Meaning, if they're acting as a trusted advisor to their clients and they make an introduction, there's a good chance that that person they're introducing is going to respond. Whereas if you're, let's just say, you're a hairdresser and I'm asking you for a good recommendation to an accountant. Well, do you think that your hairdresser, and I'm not knocking that profession, I'm just saying a hairdresser could probably introduce you to a great person that does nails, maybe someone that does facials, somebody like that. You ask your plumber for a great HVAC guy or a drywall guy. But when I talk about trusted advisors, I'm thinking of three key people with a fourth kind of real close by, and that's attorneys, bankers, and accountants. Because if you don't have a trusted relationship with your client, it's not going to be a good relationship. It's not going to last long. And the other ancillary professional are wealth advisors. If you don't trust your wealth advisor, your accountant, your attorney, and your banker, you shouldn't be in those relationships to begin with. But if you can find someone that works with similar clients, shares similar values, and acts as a trusted advisor, that is a great networking partner to start with. And what I talked about networking is once you meet that person, you ask them what you can do to help them. Maury Elstein, who's one of the most prolific networkers in the city, that's his best question. What can I do to help you? And it doesn't have to be anything related to what your product or service is, but if you can find out someone else's pain point, I think we touched on that as well, is when you find someone's pain point, you can then work to solve it, and when you solve that, you're no longer a vendor, you're now a partner. You've kind of moved into that trusted advisor arena because you're helping someone, it's somewhat selflessly. Obviously, another thing I want to be clear on is that I don't go around helping just anybody. I'm not out there as a Gandhi type of figure, just who needs help, what can I do, how can I help your career, how can I help your career, it's not about that. I'm really focused on people, helping people that I know can help me back, whether it's becoming a potential client, becoming a client, or introducing me to potential clients. So that's really where I start with that.